Good morning. It's Friday, January 2nd, about 9:30 a.m. Just sitting in the car at work, waiting to go in. So I figured I'd post a video about my journey so far on day 2. Struggled a little bit with what to post today and how much to say, but going to be perfectly honest, we're really kind of at day 1.5. Yesterday wasn't the greatest. I did end up smoking yesterday, unfortunately, for myself. But I'm going to be honest with everybody and just come clean about it. It's tough. It's hard. It's going to be one of the hardest things I ever do. Addiction's a bitch. So today we're hitting it again. So we're going to get through today and take it one day at a time, just like anything else. But so that brings up a point that I wanted to make in the video was anytime you're going to do anything hard, you need to be prepared. You need to have a plan, and you need to have realistic expectations and goals along the way. So I'm going to go over some of that, some of what I've done to help prepare for this and everything like that. I did make some notes, so you might see me looking down, reading some notes just to kind of keep my thoughts together and keep it going. So, first off, we're going to talk about what to expect when you're quitting smoking. So, I found this list so in the first 24 hours, it says the nicotine starts to leave your bloodstream. Your heart rate drops, blood pressure drops. So, that's good. What you feel, you're going to start feeling strong cravings. Yep, check. Irritability and restlessness. Yep. Check. I went through all that yesterday. Luckily for everybody else, I was pretty much home by myself all day yesterday. So nobody else really had to deal with that irritability and restlessness. Which brings me to a point. When you're going to do this, when you decide to do this, make sure you tell everybody. Make sure you tell the people around you that you interact with every day. You know, your coworkers, your loved ones, your significant others, your kids, whatever. Like, hey, I'm quitting smoking. So it's going to be rough for a while. Probably going to be irritable, probably, so just forewarn them. That way they understand what's going on. They can help with that. Also going to probably feel some fatigue, increased appetite, some brain fog. Brings me to another point. Wasted a roast yesterday. Took it out of the freezer. Was doing some other things. Set it up in the microwave so my dogs wouldn't get it. Forgot all about it. Didn't even cook it. Didn't put it in the fridge to finish defrosting. Just left it in the microwave all night long. Remembered it this morning, so I had to throw that away. That sucked. But the brain fog is real. You're going to be scatterbrained. You're not going to be able to concentrate. One of the things that you're going to go through. Increased appetite. Yep, I found myself wanting to eat all day yesterday, wanting to snack on things. So it's probably a good idea. Have some healthy snacks in the house. Bring some stuff with you if you got to go out. Good idea. So we're on to day 2. 1.5, we're calling it 2 still. Day 2 to 3, you're going to be at your peak withdrawal. By this time, days 2 through 3, the nicotine is going to be starting to completely come out of your body. Your brain chemistry is going to start to adjust. And this day 2 3, it's going to be different for everybody. Depends on your body composition, how your body stores nicotine, everything like that. So it could be shorter, it could be longer, it could be significantly longer. It's going to be different if you're using like a nicotine replacement, like gum, patches, stuff like that. Because if you're following the directions, you're going to be slowly weaning off the nicotine. So your withdrawals shouldn't be as intense. But it's also going to take longer to get through that initial 3 to 4 days, 2 to 3 days. You're going to have your strongest cravings. You're going to have anxiety. You could have some mood swings. You could have trouble sleeping, the brain fog again. And they're even saying maybe some constipation and bloating. Not fun. None of this is going to be fun, but you can get through it. I'm going to get through it. It's just the way it is. It's going to suck. But sometimes things suck. Sometimes you got to get through the suck to get through the good stuff. So that's day 2 to 3. That's pretty much where I'm sitting. So to help get through that, like I mentioned previously, you got to have a plan. If you try to do this without a plan, more than likely you're going to fail. So part of that, doing that plan is doing some research. That's what I've done. I've looked up this. I know what to expect. You're going to want to know what to expect. You're not going to want to go into this and be like, holy crap, what's this? What's happening to me? You want to be prepared for those cravings. You're going to want to either, if you're going cold turkey, more power to you. It's going to be rough. It's going to be hard, but you're going to get through that detox phase faster. If you're using nicotine replacement, it's going to take longer to get through that nicotine detox, but it's going to be more gradual. It's going to be maybe a little bit easier to handle. It's going to take longer, but be easier to handle. Which, depends. It's not one way for everybody. You're also part of that plan is if you have any other medical conditions, mental health conditions, stuff like that, you're going to want to talk to your doctor. You're going to want to take their advice. You're going to want to get best case, worst case, what to expect from your doctor. You're going to want to let them know. They may need to adjust medication dosages. If you're already on medications for anti-anxiety, antidepressants, stuff like that, you may need to adjust dosage. If you're on blood pressure medications, quitting smoking is going to lower your blood pressure. Eventually, probably going to have to reduce those medications maybe. You don't want to get too low blood pressure. So, another part of your plan, be prepared. Have what you want to call like a quit kit. More than just getting over the nicotine addiction. Smoking comes into every part of your life. It becomes a routine. It becomes a habit, a routine. People, we love routine. Our brains are wired for routine. So, you get up in the morning, you have your, a lot of people tend to do the same thing every single day, do it the same way. So you got to make adjustments to that routine. Find something to substitute, your morning cigarette with. When you go on your lunch break at work, find something to adjust that smoke you take after lunch or before lunch. You need to find a replacement. Another part of it is just the motion of hand to mouth. That's a big one. The first time I quit, that was a big one for me. Find something to replace that. I show suckers, so hand to mouth. That's a good one. Some people use chewing gum, hard candies, stuff like that. Those are pretty good ideas. And then other things to help mitigate the withdrawal symptoms. You're going to get headaches, so you're going to want to have your Tylenol, Advil, Motrin, painkillers around, to help ease those headaches. So you're not. It's going to help with those cravings for a cigarette. You're getting a headache, and your brain knows, hey, if I had a cigarette, this headache would go away. Well, give it some Tylenol, some Advil, something like that. Take as directed. That's going to help with that kind of stuff. And also just having somebody you can talk to, hold you accountable, but also be supportive. Cheer you on, keep you going, keep you motivated. It's going to be very important. Also set little goals, little daily goals. Every journey starts with a single step, and just incremental steps along the way, it's gonna build. So whether it's, having a treat after you complete the day, a candy bar or something like that, who knows, whatever it is for you. And then maybe having a bigger thing to reward yourself with at the end of the week, the first week. Like, ooh, I'm gonna take myself out and have a good dinner at the end of the week, and then maybe something a little bigger after the first month. All right, I made it through a month. Let's get treat yourself to a massage or pedicure, manicure, whatever, something like that. Stuff like that. It's going to help. It's going to build motivation in your brain. Because part of what makes smoking and nicotine so addictive is dopamine. Dopamine's the feel-good chemical in your brain. And so looking forward to that reward and then getting that reward, that's going to release dopamine in your brain. It's going to make you feel good. That's what the nicotine does. So that's going to help replace that. That's going to make it easier. Another thing is a lot of people don't realize just how hard it's going to be. When I was doing my research, I found out that there's studies that show that nicotine is just as or even more addictive than heroin or cocaine. Let that sink in. Just let that sink in for 1 minute. Think about that. People go to like rehab facilities, and stuff like that, have support groups, AA, Al-Anon, Narcanon, to quit using heroin and cocaine and stuff like that. You don't see stuff like that to quit smoking. Yeah, there's online support groups, there's some support groups, there's medications you can take that help and stuff like that. But just in our society, we don't look at smokers as really being addicts for the most part. A lot of people don't. They look at if you fail quitting, oh, you're just a quitter. You just weren't strong. You just didn't have enough willpower. It's not true. It's hard. It's an addiction. It's a medical thing. Just like they say with hard drug users and addicts. So it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, but you can get through it. Eventually you can succeed. Might not be the first time, might not be the second time, might not be the third time, but just remember, studies show that it's just as bad as fucking heroin. So if you don't succeed once, don't give up. Try again. It's been about 12 minutes, so that's enough for today. See y'all tomorrow, maybe later tonight. I don't know. We'll see. Talk to you later. Bye.